Demon Queen grants human champion 3 wishes. His first wish made her blush. The throne room of obsidian stretched endlessly, its jagged pillars glistening with veins of molten fire. At its center, seated upon a blackened throne carved from the skull of a dragon, lounged the Demon Queen. Her crimson eyes burned brighter than the torches, her dark wings half folded against the high backrest. Legend said she was eternal, a being who had never bowed nor faltered, the terror of both mortals and gods alike. And yet tonight she leaned forward with the faintest smile. Before her knelt a man, armored, scarred, yet still upright after a battle that should have broken him. His name was Kael, the human champion who had walked into her dominion not to slay her, but to bargain. He had fought through her generals, bled through her labyrinths, and stood unshaken at her gates. "You have earned something rare," the Demon Queen said, her voice echoing like a low chord of music. "3 wishes, human. Speak them, and if they are within my power, they are yours." Kael lifted his head, his breath still ragged from the fight. 3 wishes, from the Demon Queen herself? "You must think me foolish not to demand your head." Her lips curled. "Demand it, and your wishes end there. Choose otherwise, and the world itself might bend for you." Kael thought long. His people had always feared her, cursed her name in prayers. Yet here she was, offering him something no king, no god had ever promised. 3 chances to reshape destiny. Finally he rose from his knees, his battered armor catching firelight. "Then my first wish," his voice grew steadier. "I wish for you, not as queen, not as conqueror, but as someone who can smile without blood on her hands." The throne room stilled. The Demon Queen's eyes widened, the fire in them flickering strangely. For the first time in centuries, color touched her cheeks. "You dare," she whispered. "Out of all desires, gold, power, immortality, you wish for that?" Kael gave a tired smile. "I've seen too much of war. I don't need riches or kingdoms. I just want to know if the Demon Queen can smile without cruelty. If there's anything beneath the crown of shadows." Her talons flexed against the throne's armrest. She could have laughed, could have torn him apart for the insolence. But instead she looked away, biting the corner of her lip. "You reckless human. To wish for my heart when you could have had the world." Slowly she lifted her gaze again. And though faint, though trembling, a smile bloomed. An honest one, soft as a sunrise breaking through storm clouds. Kael's chest eased, as though centuries of fear lifted in that one moment. "That's enough," he said simply. The Demon Queen stood, her wings unfurling like a great storm. But her tone was gentler than her stance. "You have 2 wishes left. Choose carefully. You've already unsettled me with the first." Kael bowed his head slightly. "Then for my second wish, I ask that my people know peace. No more endless war with your legions. No more nights spent wondering if fire will rain from the sky." The Demon Queen's expression shifted. A wish for peace was no small thing. Demons were bound by their hunger, and the wars they waged were as natural as storms. Yet she had spoken, 3 wishes if within her power. She extended a clawed hand, and in a ripple of shadow, the iron banners of war fell from her halls. "It is done," she declared. "My armies will march no longer against humankind. They will not cross your borders unless you call for them." Kael felt a tightness in his throat. "Then perhaps we'll see what the world looks like without fear." Her gaze lingered on him, softer now. "You could stop here, you know. 2 wishes well spent. The third could undo all of this if you misstep." "I know," he said, breathing deeply. "But a promise is a promise. 3 wishes. The demon queen folded her wings, descending the throne's steps until she stood before him. Her presence was overwhelming. Every step radiated heat and gravity, as though the world itself bent to her form. Yet she looked at him not as prey, not as foe, but as something far rarer. "And your final wish?" she asked quietly. Kael met her eyes. "My last wish is that you don't have to be alone anymore." Her breath caught. The torches flickered, dimming as though the whole castle awaited her reply. "No chains. No dominion. Just companionship," she whispered. "Just that," he answered. For a long, trembling silence she said nothing. Then, with a sound more fragile than thunder should ever allow, she laughed. Not cruelly, not mockingly, truly laughed. It echoed through the obsidian halls like a forgotten melody, shaking the dust from the ceiling. She placed a clawed hand against his chestplate. "Reckless, impossible human. You've bound me tighter than any chain. But very well. Your wishes are granted." The throne room no longer felt like a prison of fire. Felt lighter. And for the first time in living memory, the demon queen walked not as a sovereign of terror, but as a woman stepping beside someone who had dared to see her differently. The demon queen stood silent, her crimson gaze fixed on Kael as though she could not quite believe him. For centuries, mortals had come seeking her destruction or her power. None had ever spoken of her loneliness. None had ever dared wish for her heart. Her wings slowly folded inward, no longer a mantle of war but a shield for the sudden tremor that ran through her. "You do not understand what you ask," she murmured. "I am ruin given form. To walk beside me is to court shadows forever." Kael stepped closer, undaunted by the heat of her aura. "Then let the shadows come." I faced worse and stood my ground. "All I'm asking is that you don't face eternity by yourself." The throne room, once alive with firelight, seemed to soften. The endless glow of lava through the obsidian floor flickered like candlelight instead of menace. She looked at him long and hard, searching for mockery, for weakness, for the trap she had seen in every pact before. She found none. And for the first time in her endless reign, she laughed, genuinely unguarded, a sound more fragile than any weapon could break. It echoed through her dark halls not as thunder, but as music. "You reckless, foolish man," she whispered, pressing a clawed hand gently against his chest. "Very well. Your wishes are granted. All 3. And though you may not know it yet, the greatest chain you've placed upon me is hope." Kael smiled faintly, bowing his head. "Then I'll carry it with you." Together, the champion and the demon queen stepped away from the throne, no longer conqueror and challenger, but unlikely companions walking into a future neither could have foreseen.